going on, YouTube? What you doing? Huh? Getting some money? Yeah, I hope you get some money. You better be getting some money. If you didn't know, it's Block Life Vlogs, aka The Trucking Block, back with another video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the thumbs up and notification bell. Does not cost you a thing. Comment down below, interact with me, I interact back. If you don't like my video, hit the dislike. Yep, so next day, same shirt. Yeah, I know, it's clean. I didn't do nothing. All I did was sit in this seat and operate this vehicle. Ride through the rain right now. Small area called Rockford, Illinois. On my way back home. Yeah, that's right, I'm going all the way back home. I'm gonna drop this trailer in a safe location. Bobtail to the crib and do my 34-hour reset before I have to deliver this load on Monday. Now, this video here is basically a rant, man. This past week up north to Illinois and Indiana, Ohio, and those areas, it's been a rough one for me, man, as far as like finding food to eat and being able to get something late night, you know, at these truck stops. Most of the truck stops up here are very small and understaffed to the point where the restaurants that are attached to them are closed early. And this is the thing for me, man. I'm gonna take back the understaffed part of that because they have staff. Sometimes I don't know if it's because the wages are so high that these employees are feeling like, well, I don't have to work that long to get a decent paycheck, because the amount of money they make now, that was dream money back to me. You know, back when I was a manager at a restaurant. I only made $13 an hour as a manager. Now, after the pandemic, a regular crew person makes that. So what would motivate them to want to stay around longer besides overtime? Some of these restaurants are offering $15 to start as a crew person. Now these truck stops, man, a lot of them, like Pilot, they're supposed to have pizza all night, right? I went to a Pilot the other night, and the only reason why I was served pizza is because I went to the counter and I asked, I said, y'all don't keep pizza out? I said, it's pretty messed up for a truck driver like me that's on the road overnight, and I'm just looking to grab a snack. I understand you can't control the restaurant side of things because they started closing early when the pandemic started, but you can at least keep some warm pizza out there for me to eat. You know what I'm saying? When I'm coming through, what's your main source of income? I don't understand it at these truck stops. Why are the restaurants closing early? Or why are there no resources for us when we get there besides fuel and death? That's all you're going to give us, is fuel and death? We got to be able to operate. And all that candy and junk food, if you ain't noticed, these truck stops, a lot of it stays stopped. Because we don't touch it. It's not the ideal food for a truck driver unless they just don't care about their body at all. Me personally, yeah, I have a little chocolate from now, you know, every now and again, but I don't, or some gummy worms or something, but I don't really go crazy with the junk food. It's no good for you, you know. It makes you even more tired on this road if you know how to take care of your body. Anyway, like, these restaurants need to stay open longer, man. Like, when I first started truck driving, and before I started truck driving, I noticed that restaurants for 24 hours. You can get a sub sandwich at 1 o'clock in the morning from Subway. A roast beef sandwich from Arby's or whatever at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? McDonald's be open 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. You can get breakfast if you got there at a certain time as a driver. You can park your truck, go inside, and still get a double quarter pounder at midnight. Nowadays, you can't do that. Most truck stops close stupid early. And it was aggravating to me because my whole schedule this past week, I was showing up to these truck stops at those hours and it would be nothing to eat. And I'd be ready to shut down. My stomach rumbling. I'm hungry. And this is what I come to realize. I know the food ain't the best, and I just said something about healthy food, but at least it's food, you know what I'm saying? It's edible food. It's not some hard candy or something you just put sugar in your body to stay awake. And that pilot I spoke of where I had pizza, they had to cook a whole pizza, sell me a whole pizza in order for them to do that, because she was like, she didn't want to waste anything. I'm like, waste anything? Man, when I first started trucking, man, it didn't matter about no waste. Truck drivers are your main source of income at this pilot and every pilot in this nation. Truckers are your main source of income. Mega carrier, owner, op, lease, purchase were your main source of income. You should have some kind of victuals there for us to eat on, man. And yeah, again, I know it's not the best food in the world, and maybe I should cook them on, this next truck I'm getting, when I get on to this next company, when I lease this truck, I'm going to equip myself with a bunch of those little cooking items that you can use, like the slow cooker, the small travel stove, the travel skillet. I'm gonna grab all that, and I'm gonna start stocking up. I don't care if I have to put a big old fridge in the passenger side, this passenger seat, in order for me to stock up the right amount of food to feed myself. Because this past week has taught me something. They do not care. As long as you buy diesel and death, they do not care at all. Like, it aggravates, man. I'm hungry. You hear me? Hungry. She was like, I can't sell you a pizza unless you buy a whole pizza because I don't want to waste it. So I had to spend almost $17 for a large pizza, a pilot pizza. Truckers, you know what I'm talking about? Them pilot pizzas, the warmer. It should be a few pizzas already in the warmer when you walk through that door to get your scale ticket, use restroom, buy a drink, whatever you're doing. It should be warm pizza in there regardless. On the West Coast, it always is. Over here on the Northeast, man, boy, I was starving. I ain't gonna front. It was bad for you, boy. Now, these restaurants are the main reason why it's aggravating for a truck driver overnight anyway. It messed me up. Matter of fact, I walked up to the counter at a Love's because I went to a different truck stop. I went to a Love's and was like, hey, you know, what times does that Arby's close? That, you know, because I come through here a lot and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pass through here again, even with the next company. What time do they close? Just for future reference for me. And she was like, well, since the pandemic, they've been closing early, sometimes 8 or 9 o'clock, maybe a little earlier sometimes. It just depends on how they feel. So you mean to tell me that these managers and employees are dictating what time they close? You're attached to a truck stop. Well, Love's here in Monroe, Illinois, brand spanking new, and it's little. Look at it, tiny. Come on, coming soon. That thing is tiny. Y'all need to buy up the rest of that land. That's my next point, man. They're building a Love's here in Monroe, Illinois. Yardstick 110, between 110 and 111. For four-wheelers, mile marker 110 to 111. They're building Love's off of the exit over there. Anyway, more like yardstick 111 and a half. Anyway, it's a brand new Love's they're building, right? It is tiny. What is up with that in Illinois? What's up with these tiny truck stops? And then it's way out here. There ain't no warehouses for the next 40, 50 miles. That was another problem I was running into. Parking. Now, I've been doing this for about 3 years now. I've been known that Northeast is bad parking. I've been known that. But it's really bad nowadays. You can show up at 6 o'clock and not find a parking spot. I had to circle the parking lot of a Love's because the TA was packed up, curtains drawn, truck shut down, and there was only 2 reserved spots next to the shop they had there at that TA. It was a small parking lot anyway, so I dipped out of there. It was like a Speedco, or not Speedco, but I'm thinking of Hub. It was like another little travel stop over there. I forgot the name of it. It's not a major chain, but it was another little mom and pop over there. Didn't have a lot of parking. It was like maybe 10 spots. That was packed up. You had drivers parked on the side roads, on ramp, exit ramp, all around this Love's, right? So I pulled into Love's, and I usually get lucky. You know, I pulled in about 10:30. I know 10:30 you're not gonna find parking, right? That's cool, but I also know that every driver out here is not on the same schedule. So I'll circle the lot until I grab one. Usually it takes about 15 minutes to maybe half an hour before I find a spot and I can slide right on in. That doesn't bother me. I just put myself a PC, or, you know, if it's a company truck, just creep below the speed limit until you get you a parking spot. And if they do question you about it, hey, I was looking for a safe haven spot. I can't just park in the middle of the road, right? I don't want to risk getting a ticket, getting towed, or tearing up the truck. Anyway, it took me 2 hours last night. And here's the messed up part, man. I'm the type of driver, if I'm in a parking spot and I see a truck circling, and I've seen them a couple times, and I'm about to leave, I'm doing my pre-trip or whatever, I'm getting myself ready to leave, I'll hop out the truck and flag them down next time they come through. Like, hey, I'm about to leave up out of here, you want the spot? You might as well just put your hazard on and wait. I'll be out in about a few minutes. I'll do that as a courtesy, because I know how hard it is to find a spot, right? Man, it was 3 drivers. 3 drivers see me circle that lot. I connected eyes with these dudes, man, as I'm passing by. And I know it ain't their duty to give me their spot. But as a courtesy driver to driver, right, I'm looking for a spot. You've seen this blue truck pass this parking spot 10 times now. I mean, I kept doing this. I just kept circling a lot, circling a lot. Seen a spot, I seen a driver hop into his tree. First he got out. I noticed he got out, went inside, he grabbed a couple rollers, hopped back in the truck, and was sitting there munching on them. So I stopped. I pulled the brakes, cut my headlights, and sat there, you know, get myself in a good position to maybe pull up and get in the spot when he pulled off. That dude sat there, ate his food, and every now and again he'd look over at me. He did that for about a good 20 minutes or so, right? Then when he finished, he put his headset on, he got to messing with his tablet, and he just sat there. And every now and again, he would, you know, do like this with his tablet and look over at me. So I'm like, you know what? Look, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off. Forget it. Maybe I'm gonna catch him when he pulls out. Another driver gets the spot. I'm like, come, dude, you see me sitting here with my hazards on, headlights cut, looking right at the spot you in, and I noticed you were about to leave because the truck had the Kurt's pool the first time I rolled by you. I got a good photographic memory. The first time I rolled past your Pete, he had the curtains pulled. Then when I come back by, the Pete has the curtains drawn, and you're getting out of the truck. I pass by again, I see you coming out the store with some rollers in your hand. You already munching on one of the hot dogs. So in my head, I'm like, okay, let me go and see what he's about, because he was probably sleeping. Now he's ready to go, which he was, and he did. Missed out on it. The second spot I saw looked like a little Middle Eastern guy. He hopped out with a t-shirt and some flip-flops on. Looked like he was shivering and everything. It was cold outside. Well, not that cold. It was like 40-something degrees. Well, he hopped out and he jogged up to the Love's, got him something to drink, jogged back to his truck. I noticed that again. Like I said, I'm circling the yard. So I pulled up next to the spot and I'm sitting there waiting. I ain't directly next to him. He can see where I'm at. You know, he see me. So he's doing the same thing the other guy was doing. Okay. All right, he's still there. He's doing that kind of stuff. I'll wait another half hour or so. So I'm like, man, look, I don't want to. I'm gonna have to keep moving though, because I might miss out on the spot. But you can do that. You'll be sitting waiting for something else. You don't get it, and then you sitting there mad because you missed out on it. But same thing. I pull off to go do another lap. Gone. Another spot taken. Another truck pulled into it. And then the other truck that pulled into it nose first. Why do y'all do that? I understand y'all don't want to hear engine noise at night, but when you do that, you're putting yourself at risk of backing into somebody or hitting something behind you. Unless you have a team driver that's going to hop out and guide you out of the spot. Anyway, finally, the third spot I'm scoping out, and this is around the same time I already seen the Middle Eastern guy. At least he looked Middle Eastern. It was another guy with was a white dude with a ball cap on. He was in a Hirschbosch, and I'm looking at him. Same scenario. I pull up, and I sit there again, another 15 so minutes. I'm like, man, I don't want to do it, but I got to keep moving because I might miss out on. So I do a lap. Well, I ain't quite do the lap yet when he pulled off, but right when I hit the gas, he see me. So he see me waiting for him to move because he was messing with his paperwork, whatever he was doing. Had his light on, and I see he put his jacket on. He adjusted himself, put the seatbelt on. I say, oh, he about to leave. He turned the truck on. He ain't got his headlights on, but his marker lights are on, so he about to, you know. As soon as I hit the gas to take off, he started edging out of the spot. I said, whoa. I already passed up the spot, so I didn't want to back up because the way this Love's is set up in Hampshire, you don't want to back up because you might be backing into a driver coming around that corner, and that corner's blind because a lot of drivers block that corner by park because ain't nowhere to park. They'll park right there, blocking that corner, making it a blind corner, so the driver might come around and hit you. So I said, forget it. I'm going to do a lap as fast as I can. Mind you, I was empty. So I'm going to do a lap as fast as I can and get back around to it. Thank God that no trucks pulled in or pulled off from the fuel island to go look for a spot or anything when that Hirschbosch was making his way out of there. So he pulls out, and as I'm coming around the corner past the fuel islands again in Hampshire, I see him going past the scale, because past the scale it's a little it's a piece of road going past the scale to go towards the exit. As soon as he was going past that, I went flying through the few islands. Give me, drivers. You know how it is. I went flying through the few islands. Because I seen another truck edging his way up, like he put his hazard on like he was about to look for a spot. I got lucky. I beat him to it. Backed on in, one and done. Pulled the brake. As soon as I killed the lights, that white truck that I passed was coming out of the few island. He looked at me and was like, dang. I seen him mouth like, dang. Like, yes. But he ended up getting another spot because right when I backed in to cut my lights, another driver I didn't see on the other side, he pulled out of his spot and then left. And that driver in the white truck, he circled back around and took that spot. But man, food and parking for a truck driver right now out here is terrible, man. And I really wish they would find a different variety like TA does. Why do we have to be limited to McDonald's, Arby's, Hardee's, Subway? Why? It's been like a couple Loves I noticed that had Taco John's now. Anyway, man, that's my rant. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. Peace.